Hi, welcome to today's episode of the Best Dog Podcast. I am Amy.
I am Rich, and this big boy is Ernie. Come on, big boy. There he is. You guys have heard us talk about Ernie in the past. He is one of Ivy's babies. You got to look over here. Your camera's over there. There, your camera's over here, big boy. See, get a big camera. Ernie, right there, dude. He is a Valley Bulldog, even though he looks like almost 100% boxer. He just got a little bit more of the boxer juice than the Bulldog juice, and I don't know how that DNA works out, but that's how it worked out for him. So, but he is the one that we've talked about. He was the biggest one. This is producer Alex's dog. As you can see, he's, as tall as Amy for the most part. And if he was to stand on his legs, he would be every bit or taller than her. But this is also the dog that we've talked about who is scared of everything. He's the biggest dog in the house. He's got the loudest bark in the house. But he is literally like a mouse. He's scared of everything. He doesn't even like being in this room. So the one thing that we've done for Ernie is we give him CBD oil. We were introduced to CBD oil from our friend Aaron, and it really, really helps Ernie. Now, it helps all of our dogs, but for some reason, Ernie is extremely susceptible to it. When we give it to him 15 minutes later, he's calm. He's usually either sleeping or he's sitting on the couch wanting to be loved on. And the fireworks can still be going on, but he is not near as worried about him. He might give you a paw or a look or, oh, hey, what was that? But that's all you're getting out of him. And it doesn't matter, thunderstorm, firework, somebody outside doing something, thunder rumbling, it doesn't matter. He's scared of it. You give him CBD oil, and he's basically like this. Well, he didn't get any today. I don't know. He's maybe just tired, but or he's just hiding. But so we've got our friend Aaron with us today. He is going to talk to you guys a little bit about the CBD oil because we don't really know the science behind it or how it works. All we know is Aaron was like, hey, this stuff is fantastic. It's not the stuff you're going to buy in a gas station or a grocery store. This is high quality, good CBD oil. Give this to your dog. I guarantee you it'll help. And it helps all of our dogs. So we're going to bring in Aaron at this point. Hey, there he is.
Hi, Aaron. How are you?
I'm good. I can only see me, though. I don't want to see me.
So, producer Alex will get us all in there somewhere.
There we are.
Give us a little bit of the science behind the CBD oil and how it works or why it works or what it was that you were telling me before.
I think the most important, you got to understand the history of CBD. CBD basically comes from the hemp plant, which comes from cannabis. So you can basically, you've got the cannabis, and from cannabis you can get marijuana plant, and then on the other side you can get the hemp plant. One has a lot of THC, obviously. The other one is very low in THC. And basically, hemp in its history has been used for thousands and thousands of years. I mean, they used it for paper, in recent times, fuel, clothes, rope. The first U.S. flag was made out of hemp. So it was like one of the biggest crops that we had. And needless to say, up until 1937, I mean, we ate hemp like it was, I mean, that was like one of the nutrients we got from our food, is that the animals, that we ate, they were gnawing and being fed hemp too. So it was something that you could grow. And I won't get into all the craziness of that, but then when they in 1937, they basically took hemp out of production. Basically, they took it out of the food chain. So if you do any kind of major disruption with nature, that's not a good thing. I mean, that's just common sense. So in 1937, they pulled it, and ever since then, our bodies have been adapting, and our dogs too. Anything with the vertebrae have been adapting to the fact that we're not getting that in our food supply anymore. So the CBD part of the hemp plant is basically, we have receptors all over our body that we evolved with that are designed to receive CBD. So it's not like it's some new fad thing. It's something that we had, but then was taken away. And I won't get all political on the hows and whys, but in 1992, now this is where it gets good. In 1992, they discovered this whole system in our body they didn't discover it until as a whole system, like one of the largest systems in our body, until 1992. I know where I was in 1992. I was out of high school. I mean, I guess it was a long time ago, but it wasn't that long.
I was getting ready to graduate high school, but in terms of history, that's really recent.
Yeah,
it's very recent. So that gets into all these different thoughts. But the thing I was trying to basically bring up these dates for is because you're bringing it back into the body. Okay, you're not medicating your dog. Okay, you're not medicating yourself. What you're doing when you add CBD is you're putting it into these receptors, not too much at first, just so your body understands, like, oh, okay, now your body is in balance. So if you have too much fear, like if Ernie has too much fear of things, it's not that Ernie's, he just has a heightened awareness of certain things. So the CBD, adding the CBD is going to bring him down to normal levels.
Oh.
Now, if a dog was under, then the CBD is going to bring them back up to a normal place.
So if the dog is always lethargic, it might make their energy level proper.
Exactly.
Really?
Exactly. That's why you see everyone claiming that it cures this and does that. And I can't say that it does those things. I just know from personal experience what I've watched.
Same here.
I've watched it with you guys, and it's something, it's something you should give your dog or yourself every day. How much will depend on the individual. It has nothing to do with dog size or really anything like that. I've seen opposite sides of the spectrum, so it's just a matter of finding out what the person or animal, what their jam is.
Okay, so you're saying that bigger dogs don't need more than little dogs. It's not like that. It's like the average human should take in 2,000 calories a day. Doesn't matter how big or small they are. That's what an average person should eat. So the CBD works the same with a dog. It just needs, all dogs need the same dose just because they just need it, not because it does based on size.
Well, things like with Ernie, I would start any person or animal low and slow on the drops, because even though it's natural, if you do something like that, and you already have, these feelings, these heightened feelings, I'm trying to be politically correct here. You have these heightened feelings, and then you throw something, just an unknown variable at it, then it heightens things, as opposed, it'd be just like if if your dog was having a freak out or whatever, and then you're the fur parent, right? And you reach in and you try to grab or do something, even though you're the parent, he could snap at you because he's in a frenzy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I got it. Yeah.
So it's almost like exercise, right? You can't go start, running a marathon. You have to start with smaller races to get your muscles used to the things. At our age, we probably shouldn't be running marathons, but I'm just saying that there's a hierarchy that you want to get your body conditioned to what's happening, even though it's designed, our body is evolved and designed to receive it. So you just have to see what that amount is. I can take a 1,500 milligram oil twice a day and not think twice about it. There's people or even dogs that are, close to my size or weight, and they do 5 little drips of 250, like what you got. And that's plenty for them. It varies from person to person and animal to animal.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to give away a bottle to somebody. All you got to do is, if you're watching this on YouTube, comment in the comments below, #FurBaby. And we are going to give away a bottle on July 1st so that you can get it in time for the 4th of July to try it on your dog. Now, I know you said that might be they might want a little bit more time to maybe they need a regular dosage. But I noticed with Ernie, we didn't have to do that. Now, with one of our other dogs, we did just start doing a regular dosage when we talked to you about this the other day. Now, we haven't seen any results yet, but it's only been 3 days or something.
It's been like 4 days.
So we'll give it a little more time and let you guys know how that works out. So if you are watching this on YouTube, or if you're not watching on YouTube, you got to get over to YouTube hit the subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff. But basically, hashtag Fur Baby in the comments, and we're going to give away one bottle of the 250 oil that we use to a lucky winner.
That's awesome.
So any suggestions for that person when they get that bottle? How are there directions on the bottle? I don't remember. How should they go about using it for their dog?
There's a suggested. We call it serving. We don't call it dosage because it's not medicine. Medicine per se or prescription. But it basically says to do half a dropper twice a day. So typically, what I would do is with my dog Ace, I'll give him CBD and with the morning feed, and then CBD with his evening feed, and that's it. And you can't. It's not something you can really overdose on. It's not like that because it's just not like that. There's not that much THC. There's less than 0.3%, whereas marijuana has 30%. So you literally have to consume over 1,000 bottles to be expensive to do that. But it's something that your body, once it hits a threshold or a threshold it doesn't like, it just passes it on to be wasted. So I typically have people start with what it suggests because the food is going to kind of dilute it a little bit too. And then just see where you're at. That's why I would rather see someone do that, long before 4th of July. Like I said, it's not going to hurt. It just maybe you won't experience anything. It is the other thing. So every animal, every person's different on how and when they respond and how much time it takes, for it to respond.
Aaron, do you mix yours in with your dog's food? And what kind? I mean, are you giving him dry food and putting the oil on it?
We do raw food for Ace. He gets either a pound of tripe or a pound of beef, ground beef or whatever, twice a day. And then, I started with the oil like 2 years ago, 4th of July, and Ace is a hunting dog. And he's a yellow lab, and he was part of a great hunting family. But the first year we got him, I mean, one of those big just booms went off when he was going down the steps, and he fell down the steps, and he was traumatized from that. So every year after that, it was just crazy, and he hates booms and all that kind of stuff and barks like crazy. So I was giving him a strength that's twice as much as what you guys have, and just doing like I would give myself, a half a dropper's full in his. I would give it to him by mouth, actually. But some dogs, may or may not take it. It's bacon flavored. I haven't seen really many dogs that didn't like it. But yeah, just squirt that half a dropper in the food in the morning and then half a dropper at night. And but that's what I did for him. And then ever since then, I'm like, you know what? He definitely needs to get this more than just on that, because we take it every day. I mean, we don't take it for something specific all the time, but we do take it on a regular basis. So we just started giving him basically they make a dog treat too. We just give him a dog treat in the morning and a dog treat at night, and that's it.
So let me ask you about that then. So we just started doing that with our dog. What could or should we possibly notice by giving our dog a regular regimen rather than just using it as a calming agent?
So it's hard to, weeds grow faster than anything on the planet, right? So you can't watch a weed grow. So it's something that's going to be so subtle, just like weight loss or whatever. You're not going to see from eating right for 7 days. You're not going to see a bunch of pant sizes go down or shirt sizes or whatever. So and a dog doesn't talk, so that's tough.
Ernie does. He talks all day long.
No, what I meant was you made the comment that you should be giving it to Ace on a regular basis, not just as needed. So what did you, and this is just completely hypothetical or in your case, what did you notice about your dog? Like, does it help their coat? Does it help their eyes? Does it help their sleeping? Does it, like, when you give it to them on a regular basis, what might we notice in our dog?
All of the above.
Really?
I mean, like I said, those receptors are all over your body. So your digestive system, your brain, your immune system, those receptors are everywhere. So if any of those things are out of balance, the great thing about CBD is it latches on and fixes everything, not the CBD, but your body will fix it all at the same time, because now it can see everything at face value and what's really happening. And your body decides what the most efficient way to use that new thing coming into the body.
So if you have a dog that itches a lot, could it possibly help with like the dermatology issues, or really?
You could say that it's worth a shot. How's that?
Yeah. No, and that's what I'm looking for. Is I didn't know what. I mean, I know you say CBD kind of like goes into the receptors and helps everything, but I didn't know what you've seen. Like with us, we know it works as a calming agent. I just wasn't sure what other things you've seen or that you've experienced that it might do for your dog.
So with Ace, when we saw that it did that, and Ace can't lie. I mean, we have a video of him, and I'm playing fetch with him outside, and I got him, looking at this toy or whatever, and one of those big booms comes off, and you hear it in the background, and you see his ears go, boom, like that, and then, but he doesn't pay attention to it. He paying attention to the toy. So I go through the toy. Of course, he's 9 years old. He's barreling after it. He's not stoned, He brings it back, and everything's fine. So, so so I noticed it with that, and so I knew that if it did that I knew, because of what I know that he needs to get that every day, because there's a lot of things that happen in our body that we don't notice. Our body keeps us alive while we sleep. We just take that for granted.
Yeah.
But we don't always know, like if you had just a little bit better sleep every single day, do you think that would have an effect on you? Absolutely. If your digestive system was working just a little bit better every single day, it would compound like interest over time. Over time, it would grow like a weed, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So the other thing with Ace that we noticed, he would get a, I don't want to use an official name, but a hot looking spot, on his inside of his legs or whatever. Mm-hmm. So instead of the bacon flavor stuff, we actually have just straight up natural CBD oil that we take, and we can put a few drops. It's an oil, so it's a topical. It's something you can put on things.
Okay.
Dry spots, or something on your face or whatever. But so we noticed that. So now that we've been giving him these treats for well over 2 years, if we forget, he walks around like Grandpa Ace. He doesn't want to go down the stairs. Because normally if I have a ball to throw, he's 9 years old, and we have our deck on the back is up about 10 or 15 steps. I'll throw that toy, and he will skip steps. He will barrel down. He will get that thing, and he will run right back up, and he will do that as long as you keep throwing that ball. But if he hasn't been doing that, so again, I don't want you to get the wrong idea. It's not that we're drugging him up, because if we were drugging him up, he would lose energy, would he not?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So the fact that he's got the energy and he's moving around better, he can't lie about it. Humans lie. Dogs do not. That's why they're the best babies in the world, right? Yeah. That's hashtag fur babies. But that's what we noticed with Ace, and we have dogs that you couldn't leave home alone. They would the one gal, the dog would like tear up the couch. I mean, there's like stuffing from the couch because that dog just and so she gets it every single month. Gives him quite a bit for as small of a dog as he is. And no more problems with that as long as she gives them that oil. So, but it's not something that I look at like another supplement. It's something that we really, unless they're going to put it back in the food, we have to get it from a supplement. There's just no other way about it. If you're vitamin D deficient, you can go out in the sun, right? You can eat more foods that have vitamin D. CBD oil, you have to get it, and you have to get a good one.
Yeah, so real quick, talk about that, because I know you've always stressed the fact that don't buy the junk at the grocery store or the gas station. If it's CBD oil, why is it not okay to just buy any CBD oil?
The best analogy is eggs. So if you buy the bleached white eggs that are cheap at the store, that's a whole lot different than buying or getting eggs that came from chickens that were not caged up in little, things. and what they feed those chickens to get the eggs that they get. So if you buy organic free range eggs, they're not white. They're brown, and they're dark brown, and they're yellow, and they're green, and they're different sizes. So it's not always, an egg is not just an egg. Same thing with, grass-fed burger versus something you buy from McDonald's. I mean, they're both burgers, but they're not the same, right? So CBD oil, the way that they grow it, if they grow it in really crappy non-organic soil, that's got pesticides in it, that's got lead or arsenic or any of those other things, or Roundup or any of this garbage, it leaches into the hemp plant and comes out in the oil if you're not buying good stuff. Does that make sense?
Oh, I didn't. That answers the question. I had no idea that. Well, you kind of got me with the egg thing. I didn't realize there was that big of a difference in eggs. But when you said the grass-fed beef, I've definitely noticed a difference in beef, just from flavor and whatnot alone. Not how good it is for your body, but just flavor alone. I know a difference in the beef. So now that is a real good correlation for the oil. That makes a lot of sense to me. I honestly didn't know.
And there's a lot to it. So besides how it's grown, the way that they get the CBD out of the hemp plant or to get the hemp oil out of it, there's different processes. Ours uses a CO2 extraction. So you're not using alcohols or ethanol to extract it out of it, because when you put it in there, it's hard to get it out of there. So you have traces of that, of things like that in your oil if you're not doing it the best possible way. Now, the best oils aren't always the most expensive, but they also aren't necessarily the cheapest. Ours is right in the middle, but everything is batch tested. I mean, you can see all the testing for mold or the alcohols, the solvents, all pesticides. They show all of these things, and they show it for every single batch of oil that they make. So not every bottle is exactly the same. So if a company doesn't have that, how do you know what you're getting?
Okay, and we can put a link. I know we're not supposed to mention it on the show because YouTube will flag it and things like that, but we've got a link that we're going to put in the description, so if people want more information, they can go to that link and all that stuff would be there. Is that correct? I haven't looked at the link in a while, so I'm not sure what all's there. So,
as far as the brand of oil links.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of that will be there, and that's something else to be said too. Is that when you're buying an oil from a gas station, that kid doesn't know anything about CBD,
right?
Even at the health food stores, the vape shops, you think that they would know, but they really don't know either. I mean, that's not what they do. They're just there to sell stuff. In fact, I've run into stores where I've wanted to put our oil in there, and they could care less that it was a better oil. They just wanted something that had a higher profit. So that goes to show you, just like, you and I know with musical gear or studio gear or whatever, the big box stores, they just want to sell whatever they can make the most profit on.
Yep.
Whereas the other stores where their name is attached to what they're selling, they're going to sell the good stuff and make sure that you're happy, make sure that you know what you're doing with what you're buying. Those other people do not have the time, nor do they typically care.
That's true. That's 100% true. All right. Well, we're going to let you go. I appreciate all the information you gave us today. And if anybody has any questions, drop them down in the comments below. And if we need to, we can always have Aaron back another time to talk about whatever it is you guys want to know about. But I can honestly say I learned a lot today. So
I did too. And
we've been using the oil, and I still didn't know all this stuff. So this is great.
Now I am, we've been testing Tutu with the oil every day. But now I'm going to do that with Ernie too.
Yeah.
Because, we live out here in the country, and I don't know about, up north where a lot of, other people where it's not allowed to light off fireworks as much.
Oh, okay.
But out here, we've had fireworks like every day for the last month. And they go until like 11 o'clock at night. And all of our dogs are afraid of them. But Ernie will just like flat out let go of his bladder, He gets scared and he'll just pee. And so I try to get him calmed down, but you don't have a warning when people are going to be doing that. So, I think it's probably best that we start him on the regular basis as well.
Because normally this is normally Ernie. Ernie is normally chill on the couch, sleeping. He's not a hyper dog. But when that stuff starts going up, he will literally jump on the couch and climb up on her shoulder and get as close to her as he possibly can because he's that scared.
Yeah.
But when you give him the CBD oil, like you said, it's not that he's high. He doesn't walk drunk or funny. Right. He goes back to being normal Ernie. So
he knows how to process. He knows how to process those sounds better. Mm-hmm. That's really the gist of it.
Well, thank you so much for all the information.
Appreciate it, sir.
I have plenty more, so anytime you guys need anything, you guys can call or message or any of that stuff.
Okay.
Excellent.
Well, like I said, drop your comments or questions in the comments below, and if nothing else, we can always get a hold of Aaron for you and get the information you need if we don't have
mention the group. Mention the group. I mean, we have a group that's got a ton of testimonies, a private Facebook group where people are posting.
What is that group?
You got to be invited. You got to get an invite to it because we don't like people spamming it. So if somebody is watching and they want the group, we'll add you on Facebook and we'll get you in that group.
Okay. So if you want to be part of the CBD Oil Facebook group, comment down below. Just comment #CBD or CBD group, or just say, hey, I want to be in the group, and we'll get you sent over to Aaron, and he can get you in there and take care of you. Sound good?
Great.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, sir. We're going to move on to a couple other things. We got to talk about vacation spots for dogs today, and we've also got another segment of Doggone Liar. So we're going to do that now. Vacation spots for your dogs. We've got 10 vacation spots that are dog friendly, and they are all across the country. The first one we're going to talk about is Bend, Oregon. This city on the Deschutes River is surrounded by national forest, alpine lakes, and extinct volcanoes. What's awesome about it is legend has that Bend is the highest capita per dog in the population in the world. It's an estimated 49% of the residents in this town own a dog. There are Scenic Oregon. This scenic city in Oregon boasts 51 miles of trails within its limits. They have 13 off-leash areas for your dog to roam around in.
Wow. Well, if you're headed to Sedona, Arizona, you can sign up for pet-friendly tours, which offer backpacking, camping trips, and visits to Indian ruin sites. And you can also reward your pooch after all that adventuring with a delicious treat at Whiskers Barkery at Sinagua Plaza.
Whiskers Barkery? Is it a bakery?
Barkery. Yes, it is.
So they have dog treats, biscuits, things like that. That's cool. Well, in Bar Harbor, Maine, it's just a short drive away from the Acadia National Park. They have 47,000 acres of wilderness area on Mount Desert Island with 120 miles of dog-friendly hiking trails. So if you're a hiker and you can do 120 miles in a week or a weekend, there you go. Acadia is one of the most pet-friendly national parks in the country, with most of its hiking trails, with the exception of those that involve the ladders or carriage roads, they are all open to four-legged explorers. Bar Harbor has outfits like Down West Windjammer that allow your pets on a boat cruise around Frenchman Bay. There's also no shortage of dog-friendly eateries in downtown Bar Harbor.
In Lake Placid, New York, you can visit Mirror Lake, which is a 2.7-mile paved trail for lovely views and fresh air. Located on the west side of the lake, the path has shops that are welcome dogs. And if Rover likes riding in the car, take him for a drive to Whiteface Mountain, which is only open in the summer, but they have plenty of Instagram-worthy pictures with stunning backdrops.
Well, from the north part of the country to the south part of the country, we're going to go to Sanibel Island, Florida. If you've got a beach bum on your hands, head to Florida's Gulf Coast of Sanibel Island. They take in magnificent sunsets or search for seashells or jog on the beach with your four-legged companion in this barrier island where nearly all of the beaches are pet-friendly.
In Kanab, Utah, they have the largest no-kill companion animal shelter. It's called Best of Friends Animal Society Sanctuary. At this shelter, they house adoptable dogs and cats and bunnies, farm animals and horses, and orphaned and injured wild animals. You can go there and borrow one of their animals to have a sleepover in your hotel room and they also have on-site cottages that you could stay in. But in order to visit and in order to borrow one of the animals, you have to volunteer some of your time helping at the shelter. So yes, it's basically like a rented dog.
I was just going to ask, you go to a hotel and you get a rent-a-pet.
Yeah, if you didn't bring your dog along with you, you could go there and spend some time at the shelter helping out, and then you could take one of the animals back and let them spend the night with you and, spend all of your next day with them and do all kinds of fun stuff. They actually have 40 guest rooms there at the shelter.
Wait a minute. So you don't rent the room. You go there, volunteer, and you get a room.
Yes, they have the guest rooms there that you could stay in, or you could actually take it to the hotel that you're staying at.
Okay.
But the cottage is there. They have the 40 guest rooms. And they have fenced-in dog parks with a splash zone and a pet washing station if you did bring your dog with you. And they offer all kinds of tours all day long.
What city was that?
That is in Kanab, Utah.
Huh. All right. Well, in Austin, Texas, when you're traveling to one of the best dog-friendly cities in the country, you can visit the Texas State Capitol building where its lawn is open to pets. There's also dozens of restaurants, including the aptly named Austin Terrier, serving dog-named sandwiches and pizzas. And Kirby Lane Cafe, serving a delicious brunch at all 7 locations. Austin gives new meaning to the word downward dog with its unique offering of Austin Dogga. Yes, that's dogga.
Dog
it's like yoga.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
dog yoga.
Huh. Well, if you're headed to California, you got to stop in San Diego because this you are not going to believe. But they have, of course, they've got different beaches that you can go to with your dogs, and check out all the different beaches that they have. But if you're visiting in July, don't miss the Unleashed Surf Dog Competition. Did you even know they had competitions for surfing?
What dogs surf?
Bulldogs. I don't know. You can train your dog to surf.
No way.
We're actually showing a video
Oh, my
here
goodness.
where the dogs are surfing. Isn't that great?
They wear life jackets and everything.
Yeah. And then while you're
Oh, my
there, you can also head over to watch a game at the Petco Park Barkyard.
That would be the San Diego Padres.
Yes. And they have a spot where you can take your dogs. And it's over in left center field that you can watch the game with your animals.
I'll be darned. Mm-hmm. Well, in Asheville, North Carolina, I've got some friends that live in North Carolina. We may have to visit this place. You can set aside some time in the autumn to see the colorful foliage in Asheville's countryside. Stay in luxurious pet-friendly hotels and walk the grounds atop the attractions of the Biltmore Estate, North Carolina Arboretum. At the French Board Riverwalk, the river park has winding shaded paths along the river, a wildflower garden, and well-visited fenced-in dog park at the Biltmore Estate that also provides kennels so you can browse the interiors. So those are 10 vacation spots.
We've got one more here.
We've got one more.
Yeah,
okay.
This is our 10th one.
Oh.
So if you're headed to New York, sorry, I kind of spit that out too fast. If you're headed to New York over the 4th of July, don't forget to take your CBD oil, but take the ferry from Petchog over to Watch Hill Campgrounds and watch the fireworks with your dog across the length of the Long Island. Across the length of Long Island during the 4th of July festivities. They have the fireworks going off and landscape gardens. Everything becomes pet friendly during the 4th of July there. They also have Old Westbury Gardens that you can go with your dog to smell the flowers and make memories there. And lots of dog-friendly food establishments.
Okay. Well, as you're touring around the country, visiting those 10 spots for the summer, there's one thing that you might encounter, and that would be a dog left in a hot car.
Luckily, I've never been in that situation, where I'm wondering what to do.
I have never seen that myself, but if you see a dog in a hot car, a lot of people on Facebook are, I'm just going to break the window.
Yeah.
Well, Emotionally, that sounds fantastic because we all want to save the dog. But that could incur you a jail sentence or a massive legal situation where you're going to be paying for damages and other things. And it could cause you a lot more trouble than it might be worth. So what to do if you find a dog in a hot car? Well, first, find out what your state statutes are, because there are some states, there's actually 31 states that have laws that either prohibit leaving an animal in a confined space or leaving them in a dangerous situation. But if you are going to be the one to break the window, you need to know what are the penalties. Some states have penalties, some don't. 8 states, California, Colorado, Indiana, Massachusetts, Wisconsin, Florida, Ohio, and Tennessee have Good Samaritan laws that allow the person to break a window to save a pet. Alabama and Arizona have bills that are pending at this time that this was written, which was, well, it doesn't say. I just took it off the website the other day, so I'm sure they're still pending. In 6 of those states, California, Florida, Massachusetts, Ohio, Tennessee, and Wisconsin, Good Samaritans must first contact law enforcement before breaking into the car in order for their actions to be considered legal. Now, it only takes a couple of seconds to make that phone call to 911. And I'm going to tell you in a moment the proper procedure so that you don't get in trouble and you can still save the dog.
Okay.
In 19 states, only public officials, such as law enforcement, humane officers, can legally break into a car to rescue an animal. Many of those are ones we've also mentioned. I would suggest Googling to find out if that is your state. Again, what I'm about to tell you in a second, you don't have to worry about what state you're in. You're going to be covered no matter what you do. In New Jersey and West Virginia, although it is illegal to confine an animal in a hot car, no one has authority to break into the vehicle to save the animal, not even law enforcement. So you live in New Jersey or West Virginia, you might want to contact your senator or representative to fix that law. That sounds a little outdated to me. But what to do if you find a dog in a hot car? First, survey the dog. Is the air conditioner running? Is the dog happy? Just survey the overall condition of the dog. Maybe he's sleeping. Gently tap on the window. I'm assuming the windows are up at this point. Even if the windows are cracked, a car can turn from 70 degrees to 90 degrees in only 10 minutes.
Oh, my gosh.
And I know people think, oh, I'm just going to run in and grab a gallon of milk. Well, what if they leave their car running? They think, okay, I'm going to leave the car running. I'm going to leave the AC on. What if the car happens to overheat just a couple of minutes after you walk away? Your car's not running anymore.
Right.
Your AC isn't running anymore, but you don't know because you ran in to get the milk. What if there's a long line? On average, it would take someone almost 10 minutes just to park the car, go inside, get the one item they need, get to the checkout, and get back to the car. It takes an average of 7 to 10 minutes. In the time that you went and got that one item, your car could have heated up to 90 degrees on a 70-degree day.
Wow.
If it is on a hot day, like it's 80 to 90 degrees outside, your car could heat up to as high as 120 degrees in that same 10 minutes.
Gosh.
So again, even if it's 8 minutes, the car ran for 2 minutes and then shut off. Your dog was in there for 8 minutes with no AC. It could be almost 110 to 115 degrees in that 8 minutes. And your dog could start suffering heat exhaustion and things like that. So first thing you want to do is survey the dog. You come up to the car, you see the dog in there. Yes, the windows are cracked. The dog is panting or it's not panting. Is it sleeping? Is it not sleeping? If it's not moving, tap on the window. Sometimes people have been quick to judge and it's a stuffed animal.
Oh.
So survey the dog. Make sure it's a dog. Do that first. Survey the dog. Okay, so after you survey the dog, assess the car, like I said. Is the AC running? Is there music playing? I saw a post on Facebook the other day in one of the dog groups I'm in. It said there was a sign on the car window that said, the AC is running and the dog is listening to Steely Dan. Please don't break the window. And somebody said, oh, I'd have broke the window just to shut the stereo off. I'm like, man, come on. Steely Dan haters out there. That ain't right. But anyway, so assess the car. Make sure that the AC is on. Just touch the glass. If the AC is on, the glass is going to be cool. Or it's not going to be steaming hot because the sun wouldn't have beat on it. So assess the car. Now, realistically, I know it took me a couple of minutes to explain all this, but to walk up to a car, look at a dog, tap on the window, double check. Oh, yeah, you know what? That is a dog. He's not moving. Touch the window. Check the car. Took 5 seconds.
Yeah.
That dog is not going to make it or break in 5 seconds. So now that you've surveyed the dog, you've surveyed the car, do you need to call 911? If you do, make the call. It doesn't matter what the rule is in your state, that 911 operator is going to tell you what you can or can't do. And that 911 operator also is going to be your legal blanket, so to speak. If the 911 operator says it's legal, you can do it. If you were to happen to get into any sort of court trouble, you've got a 911 call telling you, look, I contacted an official. That official told me it's okay. So if they told you it's okay, then you should be absolved of any legal problems. The 911 operator might be in trouble if they lied or misspoke, but it's not on you anymore. So don't worry about it. So call 911. To survey the dog, to survey the car, and to call 911 is less than 10 seconds. 911 answers right away. They don't put you on hold. They don't not answer the phone. It's not like, hello, the Domino's, can I please hold? And then you're there for 5 minutes. No, they're going to take care of you right then, right there. So in 10 seconds, you have help on the way without getting yourself in trouble. Now, step 4, take action. Listen to the 911 operator. If the 911 operator says it's not legal for you to break the window, then you have a decision to make at that point. If you still want to take on the responsibility of what might happen to that dog, then that's on you at that point. Or you can try to find the owner, maybe go inside the store and page the owner. That would only take a couple more seconds. I don't know how long a dog has to be in a hot car for them to start having medical issues.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine it's 60 seconds.
Right.
I mean, how long does it take to go in, have somebody page? I mean, if you go in and there's an emergency and say, hey, I need you guys to page, there's a purple Pontiac with a dog locked in the car, and somebody pages purple Pontiac dog in the car, please come out to your car. That person's going to move quick.
Yeah.
I guarantee it, because if I left my dog in the car and somebody pages that, I know, I've seen the way the world works.
Right.
My car is about to get destroyed.
Yeah.
I'm going to be running to go, hey, I need to fix something. Maybe my AC got turned off. I don't know, but I'm being paged. I'm going to go. You go back to the car. Give it some time. Even if you've done all that and it's not legal for you to take action, the courts are probably going to side in your favor because you did take necessary precautions and you were smart about what you were doing. The other thing that you can do is, let's say that person, you're getting ready to break the window and the person's standing there with the milk in their hand yelling at you from the parking lot, hey, that's my car. Okay, you don't have to break the window because they're going to open the door, they're going to roll the windows down. The issue has been resolved. But what else can you do? Well, pretend that you're making a text and take a picture of a license plate.
That's a good idea.
Or type the license plate or text it to yourself. If you can take a picture of the person without them knowing, go ahead and do it. But I'm going to tell you right now, you go to take a picture of somebody that doesn't want their picture taken, now you've got another set of problems on your hand.
Yeah.
So be discreet. Do what you can do. Wait till they get in the car, take a picture of the plate, take a picture of the car, whatever you can do, but try to be discreet about it because you don't want to have a fisticuffs with somebody in the parking lot because people are crazy nowadays. The guy might come out wielding a machete or some type of gun, or today might be throwing grenades at you. Who knows? But so try to be discreet about it, but report the car, report the license plate to your local authorities. Whatever your statute is at that point, go ahead and report the car. The Humane Society or animal control or local officials may pay that person a visit after the fact to stop it from happening again. So those are the 5 steps that you can take to make sure that you don't get into any type of legal trouble while taking care of a dog in a hot car.
Yeah, I have noticed, like, over the last maybe 5 years that people are more susceptible, looking out for that.
Yes.
And busting through the windows and doing whatever they've got to do for those
And they don't
dogs.
take, and like I said, people don't take 2 seconds to, oh my God, there's a dog in a hot car. Right. They break the window and it was a stuffed animal.
Yeah.
That has happened.
Oh my gosh.
So, like, again, it takes 2 seconds to survey the dog, survey the car, and a couple more seconds to call 911. There's less than 10 seconds and you've got an answer.
Yeah.
That 10 seconds is not going to make or break that animal situation at that point.
Yeah. I don't leave our dogs in the car when I go somewhere, but I don't usually go anywhere alone. But can you imagine our pug? He pants all the time.
It could be 30 degrees in there. He'd be panting.
Yeah. So that would definitely happen to us. So
and again, survey the dog. Take a couple seconds. Watch his actions. He might be panting, but is he like going crazy? Is he lethargic?
Right.
It only takes a couple of seconds to look at the animal to make sure that it is what it is. So our final segment today is going to be Doggone Liar. And we're going to bring producer Alex in for this, and he is going to explain what Doggone Liar is. If you haven't seen, I think episode 2 was the last time we did this, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so how does this work for the people that don't know?
So on this segment, Doggone Liar, I have 3 statements for Rich and Amy, 2 of which are true, and another that is a lie. I'm going to give them these statements, and they have to guess which one is the lie.
Okay.
Okay, so 2 true, 1 lie. Okay, what are the 3? Start with statement number 1.
All right, so your first statement is that the world's tallest dog was a Newfoundland.
Tallest dog? Like standing on all fours or standing on the back legs?
Standing on back legs.
You didn't say what type of dog it was, though, did you?
Newfoundland.
Oh, I thought he meant it was in Newfoundland.
Yeah, I know. I was going to ask that too.
Oh, I was like, well, okay. A Newfoundland breed. I don't know what kind of dog that is, so I don't know if that's true. Is that a tall dog?
I'm
You
not
know?
saying I could win. I could get
Oh,
it right.
geez, Pete, we're playing against him. All right, what's statement number 2?
Statement number 2 is that a common nickname for bison calves is red dog because they're born with orange fur.
A bison? Like a dog. I mean,
like a
a
puppy.
bull.
A baby bison.
It's called a what?
A red dog.
Because its fur is orange.
Yeah, even though they grow up, and as we know, adult bison, they have dark brown.
Huh.
Okay.
Okay, and the next one?
The last one is that bats are the only mammals that are capable of sustained flight.
What does that mean?
Are bats mammals?
That was my first thought. Was he trying to trick us with that crap?
Yeah. Wait.
Wait.
By sustained flight, I mean they can fly on their own. They're not depending on anything else other than the fact they alone can fly. They're not falling and flying. They're not.
Wait a minute. Birds don't fly?
Yeah. And is it? I don't think a bat is considered a bird.
No,
right?
but
Okay.
is mammals have to be a mammal you have to have live birth and fur.
And they do have fur. Their
They
body
do have
part
fur.
is furry.
And they don't lay eggs, so yeah, they're
Right.
okay. They're
Okay.
mammal. I think
Okay.
and that'd be warm blooded, right? Isn't that something to do with it? Gosh, we need to be smarter to play this game. I bet the people.
The problem is
listening.
Alex has always been smart.
Yeah. All right, this ought to be called two dumb dogs and a yeah. All right, God, I have no clue.
Okay,
I did really good on week 2,
wait.
but this
I always get confused.
2 are true, 1 is false.
One is
so
false.
only one of these is a lie.
Okay.
So the first one was the tallest dog was a Newfoundland. I don't know what kind of dog that is. Do you?
Yeah.
It's not like a greyhound, is it? Like a hairy greyhound? It's not like the kind of you see in a cartoon with the barrel on the big.
That's
furry.
a Saint Bernard.
That's a Saint Bernard. What is?
Right.
I don't know what the tallest. What is the biggest dog?
I don't know, but on Facebook lately and TikTok, you've seen them great big fuzzy dogs.
Is that a Newfoundland?
I don't know.
You don't know either. You over here acting like you know. All right, so maybe. I'm going to put one maybe for 1. All right, so number 2, maybe Newfoundland. Okay, I'm going to write that down because I'll forget.
All right, we have
Newfoundland.
to tell him which one is false.
I know, but I got to try to figure out what these are. So number 2 was the statement about
Bison calves.
the bison calf. That sounds true. That sounds so boring too.
I want to say
What's
that
he
the
laughing
bat
at? I don't like the
one
fact that he started laughing.
I think the bat one would be false, but are there any other flying mammals?
But see, I'm kind of confused by because he says sustained flight, like birds. I mean, yeah, there are some birds that like go off a cliff and they use the air.
He said the only mammal. Birds aren't mammals.
Oh, you're right.
So are there any
what
other
other mammals can fly?
That's
Good.
what I just said.
Good. You're good, babe. That's good. Okay, so what other mammals can fly? The duck-billed platypus is a mammal, but he don't fly. That's true. That's got to be true because it's the only mammal. I think that's the thing. What other mammals fly? I thought it was about the sustained flight thing, but I don't think that's it. Oh, gosh, I don't know. Okay, so I'm going on. I'm just going to say that one's true. I'm not going to. I don't know what he's talking. I'm so confused right now.
Me too.
All right, so bats fly. I'm going to say that's true. Newfoundland was a maybe. I'm not sure about that one.
I'm going to say that one's false.
You think that's not the biggest dog?
I don't think so.
Well, but see, then that makes number 2, the red dog calf. That sounds so boring and true. I think that's true.
I think the buffalo thing is true.
That's what I'm saying.
The bison,
the bison are called red dogs.
I think that's true, and I think that
true.
the bat might be the only flying mammal.
But what if it's not? What if it is the sustained flight? Then what if bats? Is there anything that has sustained flight? I don't know what that is. That's what's screwing me up.
I mean, if a bird can fly by itself and not depend on anything else,
But it's not a mammal.
it's not a mammal. So
But
I
some
think
birds,
that's
like I said,
only...
they go. See, birds can jump up from the ground and take off.
But do they flap their wings and go in the air, or do they jump and then flap their wings?
But bats flap their wings, don't they?
Yeah,
So that's not sustained flight, then, right?
and birds can just bats can coast, right?
Well, all birds, anything that flies can coast, don't they? I mean, except for like chickens. Chickens like fly like
We're
20
putting a
feet.
whole lot of
I
time
know.
into this.
I know. Like, he's got a stump. Last week, I think I had it pretty quick, but this week I'm totally confused. I'm sure there's people listening to this podcast that are like, I know the answer, but we can't see it. So he's not putting people's comments up on the screen. So that makes sense.
I'm going to go with one being false.
So you think the Newfoundland is false?
Yeah.
See, I don't know. The
Great Danes are big.
Yeah, see, and that's what I'm thinking. Like St. Bernards are big.
A Great Dane, I think, is bigger than
I wish
a
I
Saint
knew what a
Bernard.
Newfoundland was. I wish he'd put a
Those
picture
are
of a
big,
Newfoundland
fuzzy
up on.
ones. I mean, they're a long-haired.
All right, you're going to go Newfoundland is false.
Pretty
I'm
sure.
going to go the bat is false just because I don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So,
All right, so we
she's
got a
going with
1 and a
is false.
3.
I'm going with 3.
All right, those are your final
The
answers.
final answer.
Okay, mom is correct.
Dang. All right, what's the biggest? So the bat is the only
Bat
mammal
is
that
the
can
only
fly?
mammal that can fly. I mentioned sustained flight because flying squirrels, they are a mammal.
But that's a
They're a
rodent.
mammal.
Doesn't
isn't it?
fly, but it is a mammal.
it is?
It's got fur and it has
Yeah.
live babies.
They
So flying squirrel
hover. They don't actually fly. They can't take off and fly.
coast.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
false.
he's just got little wingy
Yeah.
things. Little web.
Bats are the only mammal species that can fly.
So he wasn't trying to trick us. He literally that's good. I don't want him to try to trick us.
And
like
then
that.
the
That's
bison
good.
calves,
All right.
obviously. Red dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see,
Yeah.
it was so easy. That made me double
Yeah.
guess it.
Well, we've been by that bison farm out here by our house.
Yeah, but I don't know what they're named.
But I've seen them like brown and I've seen them orange. So I didn't know if that was just 2 different breeds or if those were babies that are big.
Okay,
you know?
so talk about the Newfoundland. Do you got a picture of a Newfoundland you can show us?
I can pull up a picture of the
All right, we'll do that while you're telling us about it, and then
Yeah.
show us a picture while you're talking about it. So,
The actual world's tallest dog was a Great Dane.
Really?
It was 7'5", standing on its hind legs.
Oh my God.
wait a minute. So it was standing on his back legs, not all fours.
Yeah, on its back legs, it was 7'5".
Okay.
And then on all fours, it was like 3'7", I want to say. It was hovering over a sink when it was
Wow.
standing on all fours.
So a
Wow.
Saint Bernard is not bigger than a Greyhound?
I would have thought a Great Dane would have been bigger than a Greyhound.
I would have thought, yeah, like a Saint Bernard. They're like you've seen like Eskimos stand next to them, and they're as tall. Their head is almost the same height as the Eskimo. If he was to stand up on his back legs, he's not that tall. Maybe they have short legs. Greyhounds have tall legs. Would that be
My
why?
uncle had a Saint Bernard, and he could stand and put his paws up on my chest.
Well, you're
and he
4
was-
foot something. That's not
But
very
I mean,
big.
he was just a little bit taller than me, so I'm thinking
Really?
maybe they would be about 5.5 feet tall, a full-grown Saint Bernard.
So we should have had a phone a friend. We could have called. We could have called Jamie and asked her about the Greyhounds, and she might have told us, "Oh, the Greyhound's the biggest dog." She might have known that. Like last week, the lab thing. I was listening to. There's another podcast that I listen to called the Good Dog Pod, but they focus on responsible breedership, and they were talking about breeding greyhounds. And I was like, oh, yeah, I know somebody who does that. And they were talking about how they're really tall and things like that. So I guess I should have known that. But also the one we did last week about the labs, they were talking about, there was actually 2 episodes about breeding Labrador retrievers and the chocolate lab, yellow lab, and whatever the other lab is. You got a picture for us? Yeah. What does this Newfoundland look like? Oh, my goodness. That's the one you saw. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here
He's
lately,
huge.
those have been on the internet a lot. And
You mean to tell me there was a greyhound bigger than that dude?
Yeah.
No way.
Wait a minute. If he's being groomed, then he's on the table, right?
Yes, he is, but still, look at his hips on the table. They're at her hips. He towers over her.
That's like Snuffleupagus.
Yeah. Hi, bird. All right, folks, that will do it for this week's episode. Don't forget, comment in the comments, Spur Baby, if you want to win the CBD oil for your pet. And we'll pick a winner on July 1st. Even if we're not doing a show, we'll do it that day, and then we'll have you email us, or we'll contact you and get your shipping info and send you a bottle of the CBD oil. That's it. You got anything else?
No, I don't.
Well, on behalf of Amy, I'm Rich.
And this was Ernie, who's sleeping.
Who slept the whole time. So thanks again for watching the Best Dog Podcast. See you next week.